name is some. Jump on in and speculate. Show up on time, don't be weak and late. We are community, so don't hate, and learn to cooperate. Yeah, hit that like button and do your thing. 5 membership will get you in. So let's talk dogs and don't waste no time. Monday 7 p.m. Don't come doing the HATE. Otherwise Hollywood will give you the BYE. Here we go, kill the whistle. Oh yeah.
What is going on, fams? What is going on? Welcome to Friday Bully Talk. Let me put a little music up in here, man. Let me spice it up a little bit. I know it's I've had several of you saying it's happy Friday, good evening. Yeah, happy Friday. We good. Let me go ahead and just add a little music, man, just to spice things up a little bit, man. There we go. Just lower it a little bit. There you go. All right, good stuff, man. Let's go to the comments here real quick. We got, obviously, Enserata, Queen's New Blood, like always, MBK, Miss Shaytree, like always, number love, appreciate you. Shaytree saying hit that like button. MBK, let's go. D Taylor, what's up, Raul? QBN family, love the Costco video today. Like one of the options to many peas, I'll stick with Sam's Club Salmon Sweet Potato Member Smart. Good choice. I mean, Costco definitely has some good dog food out there, but I still think Member Smart takes them. Need to catch up on that and take a look. Yeah, you definitely got to do that. Cody Boone is Friday, baby. Good evening. What's up, Cody? Thanks for joining us, man. In Serata. Hi, Raul. I have my big girl on the list at ABKC to get the premium pet. They're sending me a DNA kit for their profile. They want that, not her embark, just so everyone knows they need theirs. Yes, they need theirs to make sure that your dog's DNA will be matching up with that pet. When you can use embark is to show that your dog, for example, doesn't have ataxia or whatever else. Freddie Strevia, what's up, Bully fam? All right, hope everyone is dry. It's raining like crazy in Bama. It's raining like crazy in Texas, I'll tell you that. Luckily for us, we have a backup generator, so the internet will keep working. The only thing you might notice is the lights might just go out. That's about it. Jared Malero, what's up, man? Number love. Hello, all. Ralph Anderson, what's up, man? Yeah, so definitely, guys, we're going to be talking flaws today. We're going to be talking about, when and how to fix them, how to prevent them. You'd be surprised how, what you're feeding your dogs in actuality is going to be changing a lot of things. What you feed your dogs is actually going to trigger certain genetics to either click on or click off, right? And, everybody out here wants to maximize what they got going on with their dogs. And so tonight we're going to be hitting up on all that, man. Cody Boom says Iowa has been getting some rain too. Been raining for just about everywhere. If you're tuning in, do me a favor. Let me know what state you're tuning in from or what country. Happy Friday. First time on the live. What's your take on brands like Bully Max? Bully Max. Here, let me show you guys something, because one thing is for me to say it, and another thing is for me to show it, right? So I'm not at liberty to talk about Bully Max. I'm really not. And the reason I'm not is because, right? Because, hold on a second, because I want to make sure my address doesn't come out. We'll just leave it at there. I got a cease and desist letter from Bully Max because I made a video where I showed the world what their ingredients were. And they claimed that I was lying. So they decided to go ahead on December 5th, 2023, and send me a cease and desist letter saying I had defamed them or misinformed the public, when all I did was read their, pretty much their ingredient list. So all I'm going to say about that is, I don't come out here lying, guys. Everything I got, everything I talk about, I tell you guys, research it. I put it in your hands to challenge me. They got challenged. They immediately hit me with a cease and desist, and I desisted. There's no way in hell I'm going to fight Bully Max, right? Their entire buffet of 100 lawyers they pay or whatever. But the fact of the matter was, they got threatened simply because I spoke out and simply read the ingredients on their packaging. That simple. Michael Hickman, wish I could do it, but $120 a month just for this is too expensive. Reyes Kennel, what's up, everyone? What's up, Reyes? Number love, man. We got Mandy Williams Piggott. Oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure y'all already noticed, but if you didn't notice, right? We actually got 3 cameras rolling with us tonight, man. So we messing around, man. We messing around and doing our thing. I definitely like this shot right here. I love this comfy room I got going on. It screams QBN, man. Everything about QBN. I have a closet right over here. I really can't beat it, man. Just really, really enjoying the new look, man. We got Jared Malero from Fort Worth. Number love, man. Tuning in from Cali. Michael Hickman, what up, man? Number love. We got Arizona, Jose Hernandez. We got Michael Hickman. I had my boy on it from a pup, and he bulked up with a huge head. Okay, if that's what worked out for you. Queen's New Blood got made because you were breaking down and explaining some of the ingredients people looked over. Yeah, they got mad. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, they got very upset because I spoke on what I saw there on the ingredient list. So that's the end of that, man. Marina McDonald says, hello. Marquise Devin Howell, I just got me an order of Nuvet NuJoint DS. Nothing but love, guys. By the way, y'all already know. Nuvet is a multivitamin. NuJoint DS is joint support for your dogs, man, whether they're older or they're younger. Really doesn't matter. Nuvet has an answer for them. Not only that, we're so sure of the product, you have a 60-day money back guarantee. Our ordering code is 513237. You could either type in nuvet.com/513237 or go down the descriptions below and we have a link that'll take you directly there. Maurice Humbo says, good evening, fam. That's Shady from Bully Max. Guys, if you notice, I've never even mentioned the cease and desist I got from Bully Max. I will tell you, they are not the only ones. The thing is, when I go out there and I speak and I read your ingredients and I show the world what's there, these companies, they get mad real quick because they know that what I'm saying is true, and some way, somehow, they feel intimidated that they can't match up, in my opinion, with a product such as Nuvet or NuJoint Plus. This company has never, Nuvet NuJoint Plus, I challenge you to look it up. It's never been recalled. It's human food grade level. It's going to fix your dog faster than you can shake a stick at it. Aloha, everybody. Chemo, number love, Chemo. Thanks for joining us, man. Carl Isaacs. Good night, Bully fam. Watching from Guyana. All right, man. Guyana. Marina McDonald, I like you told us what's good or bad ingredients. Well, sometimes it's not even what's good or bad. Sometimes is, you'll have some companies, I won't name them, that would add something like and they call it. Let me show you guys, because again, I could probably show you better than I could explain it to you, right? So cellulose, right? Cellulose, right, is nothing more. Is nothing more. Look, I'm cracking up because I know some of y'all are already going to remember about this, but I'm going to bring it up anyways. So cellulose, read it. Cellulose is a complex carbohydrate and the main structure is material in plants. It's a long unbranched chain of glucose molecules, blah, blah, right? So let me put on here. Let me see if it comes out. Another word for cellulose. I hope it says it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to come out and say it. But look, this is kind of letting you know here. Fiber, roughage, right? Dietary fiber, right? Right? What else is another name for cellulose? I'm hoping it pops up. Okay, it is not popping up, but I'm going to tell you anyways. So this name that they call cellulose, right, to kind of hide or whatever, it's nothing more than sawdust. 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 Yes, in your dog food, right? Just keeping it real. Auto ship, Nuvet NuJoint DS. Thank you, Miss Shay. Number love. KK, what's up, Raul? Number love, man. We're about to get started. Queen's New Blood, have you looked at food called Bully Maximum? I used to feed it back then and went back to it this year since the dog food I was working with wasn't really working, unfortunately. Not really. Is Victor good? Cliff Dixon. Cliff, look, man, our opinions are just that, opinions, and they're subjective. All I can tell you is I used to be a proponent of Victor's until one of my pups came up, or an entire litter of pups came up with wonky legs and joint issues and whatnot. Took them off of Victor, put them on raw diet, and within 96 hours, everything was fixed. So, you know, that's just what happened to me. And that's the advantage of coming onto my platform, right? I don't sit here and read from a book. Any idiot could buy a book and read from it, and that's as simple as that gets. So you would really have to be an idiot to jump on my platform so I could read from a book that you could be reading yourself, right? So basically, I'll end up reading the book for you. In reality, the main advantage you get with us is the experience that I have with these particular products. So aside of having the knowledge from the book, right, we also have the hands-on experience as to exactly what happened when we used what and why it worked or why it didn't work. And so we're able to share that with you. Michael Hickman says, I love the info and no disrespect, but the Nuvet NuJoint is a hell of expensive. I have to stuck with it. Desiquin, Cosequin, as far as Bully Max. I'm gonna tell you something about that. That's foul what they did on that cease and desist. My boy has sensitive stomach, so I had to switch him out after a year on it. Well, I'm gonna tell you something, Michael Hickman, because it's funny. Today, I was looking at Cosequin, right? And I'm comparing it to Nuvet. So here's the beauty about Nuvet, bro. And a lot of you are like, well, it's too expensive. Well, check it out. This is a 90-day supply bottle. Yeah, you're paying $50 for it, but you're getting 90-day supply. You do the math. It's going to be a lot less than Cosequin, bro. In addition, you got Nuvet NuJoint. This is NuJoint DS, and it comes in wafers based on weight, right? And let me just tell you this, man. This thing lasts quite a bit along with NuJoint DS. In fact, they already come with 120 chewables already in there. When you sit down and do the math and you realize that this is a 90-day supply and not a 30-day supply, then you realize who's ripping you off. I mean, I'm just keeping it real with you, man. Excel Champ Cooper, I tried your chicken and rice recipe my dog loved, and he pooped less. Really? Ha, what do you know? Old Raul might have gotten it right one time, huh? Yeah, y'all keep trying my recipes. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, these recipes that I share with you guys is stuff that I give my dogs. And obviously, I'm only going to share a recipe that's not causing diarrhea in my yard or anything like that because it behooves me for you guys to enjoy the content that I'm putting out there, for you guys to share, like, comment, etc., etc. So, Jared Malero, my dogs are loving NuJoint Nuvet. They will eat them like a treat. Exactly. And that's exactly how I use Nuvet and NuJoint, guys. I get the dogs to go in the cage, and once they go in the cage, that's when once everybody's up in the cage, I go and I give them their Nuvet, and it ends up being like a treat for them. Hold my wand, it's the FBI. Good evening, fam. Oh my goodness, we got the FBI in the house. All right. Hey, I didn't do it. I'm just gonna it might have been Michael Hickman. I haven't done it. I'm just letting you know I haven't done it yet. All right, I haven't done it yet. Just having a little fun with it, man. It's Friday, guys. It's Friday. We gotta enjoy it. We gotta enjoy life, man. Jared Malero says, hold on, my bad. Skip Michael Hickman. Roll. I sent my embark in to check out my girl so I can breed her with my boy. Waiting on the results. Hey, man, Mike, salute to you, man. And salute to everybody that's doing more and more embark testing. It's starting to become a thing. You know what I'm saying? So all these little backyard breeders that hide behind the fact that they don't do this type of testing and this and the other, give them another 5 years. They're going to be popped like a pimple. Jared Malero says, we can all read a book, but can't beat the years of experience. Exactly. You can read a book. Here's what's dangerous about reading a book, man. And I want you guys to let me know if you agree or you disagree with what I'm about to say. But, when somebody writes a book, sometimes they're sponsored by a particular company or whatever. I mean, we see it in movies all the time. Sometimes when a movie's being made, I'm just throwing an example out there, and say there's going to be Coke, right? Coca-Cola is going to be drunk in the movie. Well, Coke may either sponsor or somehow contribute to that movie because they're getting free publicity. What makes you think people don't do that in a book? I'm just saying. And you see, I didn't realize this until I got into about my 10th or 12th book. And I started realizing that there is a trend that every single book is kind of pointing you in one particular product direction. That's what I started figuring out. So if you're out here reading a book, right, not only can you be being manipulated without knowing, in addition, that person's perspective or exclusive point of view is the only thing you're going to be able to see the world through, because that's the only thing that you're consuming or you're bringing into your brain. That's why having experience changes everything, because you could sit here and talk all you want, but if you don't have hands-on experience, when the fit hits the shan, and trust me, when it comes to dogs, sooner than later it will, you better know what you're doing. You better know how to fix it. I'm just saying. You can't just then at that point say, but the book says, nah, I don't want to hear that, bro. Tell me how I'm going to fix the problem. So, Cliff Dixon, you reversed it and tried it. What do you suggest? Listen, I reversed it after I had tried it. At this point in time, my go-to kibble, and it's no secret anymore, is Sam's Club salmon and sweet potato formula. Okay, that's what we go with. All right. Marina McDonald, it's worth it. You got it. Carl Isaacs, Raul, do you ship Nuvet NuJoint to Guyana? No, it's not me. It's not my company. I wish. But they only ship in the U.S. and Canada. And right now, because of the tariff war, they're not shipping to Canada, believe it or not. Jared Malero says, we need a QBN cookbook. Why? Why would you need a QBN cookbook when I could give you videos? A video says so much more than a cookbook ever will. And it's showing everything live. And then it shows me feeding it to my dogs at the very end. Michael Hickman says, thank you. If you have any pointers on beginning a breeding program, I have 2 ASTs, American Staffordshire Terriers. So how much will a bottle of each last, and how much is each bottle? Okay, let me just real quick. Let me just tell you, this bottle right here, right? This is Nuvet. If you were to order Nuvet, let me bring up. Hold on a second, man. There it is. So there you go. Let me bring your comment down just so we can read this real quick. So Nuvet, right? Regular price $55.50. Auto ship. If you do auto ship, I don't know if you're reading at the bottom, and my ticker's letting you know that if you do auto ship, you get 13% off, right? So you go from $55.50 to $47.15. That's not shabby, man. That we're talking about $47.15, and then you divide that by 90, you're somewhere around 52 cents a day. Okay, that's just on Nuvet. NuJoint is going to be slightly, I think it's just a couple dollars more, but you also get the 13%. That's why I tell people, you get them both and you do 13% auto ship. That's where you get enough of a discount where it becomes economic, and this thing is just going to blow whatever's out there right now. I'm just telling you, it's going to blow it out the water. Why am I able to say that? I'm able to say that because I've tried quite a few things. Nothing even comes close. Nothing even come close to this. I mean, come on, guys. I've been showing you guys these pictures. This is the most recent one. This is a 10-day before and after. Look at that puppy. Look at those pasterns. Look at that. 10 days. 10 days. Our ordering code is 513237. You can either go to nuvet.com /513-237, or go to the link below in descriptions and simply click on it, and it's going to take you directly there. All right. Let's see, man. Michael Hickman is saying, whoa, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I have found Raul is right 99% of the time. True respect. Thank you, Ms. Shea. Ms. Shea, here's your challenge. I want you to tell me that 1% of the time I was wrong. And if I agree I was wrong, I will admit it 100%. No ego. Inserata says, I'm waiting for my try girl to pop. When her mom did, her hips spread out wider and the top line improved. Have you seen that in your females? Yes, absolutely, but not just the females. So what happens in Inserata is that, and if I remember correctly, in Inserata, I believe you breed Staffordshire Terriers, right? Let me know if I'm wrong. But either way, for American Bullies, for example, I've mentioned that they're going to grow up in height anywhere between 12 and 14 months. Soon after that, between the 1.5 year and the 2.5 year mark, they're going to get wide. We refer to that as the pop. Then between the 2 year and 3.5 year mark, head is going to come in. So if you're referring to American Bullies, yes, absolutely. This is why I tell people, if you have a dog that has a slight high rear, I'm talking about real slight, not some crazy, just real slight high rear. If you just give the dog enough time to mature and pop, once they widen, the accessory muscles are going to take a lot of the pressure. And what ends up happening is what I call kind of like what do you call that in vehicles that makes them not bounce? I forget the name of it. Anyways, there's an effect like that. It's suspension. There you go. It's like a suspension effect. The dog's rear will widen and it will drop. Okay. And you will also get a tiny bit more of angulation, which is supportive of these changes that I'm talking about. So there you have it. All right. Let's see. Michael Hickman, seriously though, if I knew my background, you would know that I'm anti-law enforcement, at least the U.S. version. Okay. Cliff Dixon says, bet. Mr. Preston, by the way, guys, I'm just letting you guys know, if you want to become a member, this is not the only membership down here, but if you want me to be your mentor, if you need a mentor, if you need somebody you can call up just about any time, you can text anytime and get information from, you could go down to descriptions below and become a channel member. You could become either a gold mentorship level, which not only will I answer your questions here live, I will also answer your questions via text, via call, via FaceTime. You get 2 FaceTimes, 2 face-to-face with me, 20 minutes each in a month. In addition, if that's just too much for you, you just want to be able to ask questions and be part of the conversation, you can become a member for as little as $5 a month, man. So I'm just throwing that out there for you guys. All right. Let's see. Saloon what? Victor's, I'm not sure what you're asking, my friend. XL Champs in California. Michael Hickman, I'm going to do it. Trusting you, Raul. I'm not sure. I think you're talking about Nuvet, man. And listen, one other thing about Nuvet, it's a 60-day money-back guarantee. You can't go wrong, man. 60-day money-back guarantee, no questions asked. With your product, bet. Okay. Okay, thank you. I breed more classic-style bullies. Okay, Insaratha. Okay, fair enough. Mandy Williams says, my dogs love Members March, salmon, and sweet potato. However, it makes some of them have patches of hair missing in their coats, but coat looks so healthy and shiny looking. Okay, this is based on what you're saying. If they're having patches on the coat, yet the coat is nice and shiny, I want to say it's possible that you're either dealing with an allergy, or if you could take your dog to the vet and have them scrape the coat and see if there's an overabundance of mites or not on the dog's fur. If there's an overabundance of mite, then we can fix that. It's all a matter of which bats to do and that sort of thing. If that's not the case and it's an allergy, then you're probably going to have to jump off of that particular kibble. Hydraulics, there you go. Hydraulics. I said suspension. I meant hydraulics. Can you release more cooked dog food video recipes? The chicken or rice is amazing, says Champ Cooper. Champ Cooper, I love the fact that you're asking for this. Let me tell you this. We just did a video this past week on Sam's Club best kibble. In fact, let me bring it up, man. Let me bring it up because I'm over here just talking, and again, I could probably show you better than I can. Hold on. Boom, there it is. Okay, so let me bring this up. I think you guys are gonna like this. All right, we're gonna deep dive. All right, let me go ahead and bring this up so you guys can see it live with me. And I'll be sharing my screen in 3, 2, 1. There it goes. All right. So basically, if you go to QBN Kennel, right, our homepage, you're going to see over here. Look. We just did this past week. We did best dog food in Sam's Club right here. We turn around and we did another one today on Costco. Okay. And that was done today, not yesterday, not the day before, today. And I plan on dropping more videos on a weekly basis. If you go to the Costco video at the very end, it's going to tell you that, to follow this particular video. Right now, I had to put another video there that shows how I do raw, but we're about to do another barf diet video. Right, we're about to do another barf diet video, break it down for you, full-blown recipe, and it's going to be a recipe that you could either cook if you don't want to give it to your dog raw. You don't have to give it to your dog raw. You could actually give it to your dog cooked, and you're good. You're as good to go as if you were giving it raw. But you guys know I'm a proponent for the barf diet, and therefore that's where we're going to be headed with it. Let's see. I'm glad you asked for that, man. And Saratha says, yes, Raul, that is what happened to her mom's top line and hips between 18 months and 2 years. There you go, Saratha. So you see what I'm saying? Up, then wide, and then the head, really. So the reason I say it that way is because sometimes you'll have people say, oh, my female has a small head. How old is she? She's 18 months old, bro. We don't know if your female has a small head. Well, what do you mean? Well, you got to give it between 2.5 and 3 years to really see what her head size is. You see, just because it looks like it's small now, I wouldn't necessarily get rid of that female, because next thing you know, you get rid of her and she turns right back around and, you know what I'm saying? Her head starts to pop within a year, and then you're over here, kicking yourself back and forth. So just wanted to throw that out there, man. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. What in might mates? I'm sorry, Anthro. I need y'all to be a little bit more specific with the questions, man. I can't guess them like that, man. Chris Green, what do you think about using pork and rice? I think it's great. In fact, I have a video. I don't know if I've shown you guys this, but if you go to QBN Kennel, but you got to go on a laptop. You cannot go. You cannot go on a phone, right? So if you come here, check it out, man. You come here, right? Look, the magnifying glass right there. You go there and you put pork recipe. Boom. You do that and look, check it out. Check it out. It's going to give you options, but even better, pork and rice. Did I do that right? Pork and rice. I have a video on pork and rice. Oh, I know what I did. I think I call it the Puerto Rican recipe. I could be wrong, man. I'm trying to. Let me see. Let's go through the videos here together. I'll find it. You'd be surprised, man. There's so many videos we've done. This is one of my favorite videos. The yeast detox dewormer. That's one of the best recipes out there. So I made a chicken and rice recipe, right? This was a Cuban, recipe. But then we did a Puerto Rican recipe. And if you notice, there's a pig here. And if you were to click on this video, it's called Homemade Dog Food Recipe. It's pork and rice. Okay, there it is. Pork and rice. So you're going to have to look it up as a homemade recipe. And you're going to be able to see it there, man. Michael Hickman says, I wanted to do raw, but my boy frowned at it. Then my girl did too. I mix cooked food with wholesome whole grain kibble as of now. We're doing actually raw, cooked, and kibble all mixed together. And it's been going pretty well. I must say, man. Each one, even kibble, believe it or not, actually, each one has a benefit. You know what I'm saying? And I thought I would never say that about kibble, but the thing about kibble, the advantage that kibble gives you is the ability to give your dog enough calories, filler calories, if you will, but calories nonetheless. The thing is, if you start your dogs on raw too soon and it's still cool at night when it's not always hot, what ends up happening is overnight they're warming their body and they're going through calories a lot faster than normal. And therefore you have to be very careful if you're just going to feed raw, because they will drop in weight. Greetings from Tampa, Hugo Rosado. ¿Cómo estás, amigo? Thank you so much. Whitney Bullies, what do you think of WBB's Bubba Sparks? I don't know. I got to see him. I'm not sure. Marina McDonald, do you recommend once-a-year shots for dogs? Some people say if you vaccinate your puppy, you will no longer have to vaccinate when they're older. This is the way I do it, Marina. They will be vaccinated that first year with, all their shots and rabies. Then the following year, I do a 3-year rabies shot. That's it. And let me just tell you, my vets, only reason they love me is because I also, they also do C-sections and, when my females give birth and that sort of thing, they're able to make a little bit of money off of me that way. But if I only used them exclusively for vaccinations, they would probably hate me because I rarely take my dogs in. Member Mark, Hugo Rosal, member Mark, salmon and sweet potatoes are 100. Yeah, man. Good stuff. Anthro barf, also known as bones and raw feeding. Yes. Peyton Wilson, what's good, Bully fan from Syracuse, New York, in here. Much love and blessings. We got Syracuse in the house, man. All right, man. We got people from all over the place, man. I appreciate you guys coming in. Let's see. Jeremy Malero says, is turkey neck chicken neck the best meaty bone to start puppies on for bones? I would say yes. And this is why I say that. The reason you want to use, necks is because the necks are made up of tiny little bones, right? So when they break that, they have these tiny little bones that when the puppy swallows it, they're not gonna, suffocate on it. Keep in mind, any bone that's about the size of a dime can kill a puppy. So you got to be very careful. This is the reason why I don't mess around. I just grind everything, the chicken quarter, the whole 9 yards. We just grind it, and just make it down to a fine sand, and don't even have to worry about it. But if I didn't have a grinder, then the next best thing would be the necks. Yes. Chris Green, thank you, sir. Keep up the good work. Love your chats. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for stopping by. Anthro says Costco Kirtland Naturals, same manufacturer as Diamond Naturals, but cheaper if anybody feed mid kibble. Here's the deal, Anthro, and I just went in and went through everything Kirkland had. I found one particular dog food they have that I feel it's the best one. In fact, sooner than later, I'm going to start experimenting with it because I think it's that good. And it's a mature adult dog formula. And the reason I want to experiment with it is because the calorie density is lower. It also has glucosamine and chondroitin naturally in there. But more importantly, what I noticed with the Kirkland brand, which I didn't like overall, is they love using pea in their recipes, right? In the formulas, like green peas. And peas is not a good thing for dogs, man. I don't care how you want to slice it. It's a filler. That's all it is. And that's the reason why they're able to, give you more affordable food and all that. And I get it. But whenever I have fed Kirkland, I fed their salmon and sweet potato formula to my dogs here. I had pasty poop up and down. At the time, I didn't have all cemented floors. If you've been following me long enough, we had pea gravel, and nonetheless, it was just a disaster, man. I was throwing away more pea gravel than I was doing poop at that point. So that's the only gripe I got, man. Real quick, guys, let me run this commercial, and I'll be right back with you. Guys, real quick, let me talk to you about Nuvet and NuJoint Plus. This is a multivitamin. This is joint support. Many people out here have done before and after pictures showing you the improvement that this alone brings to the table. If you're feeding kibble, if you're feeding raw, there could be some insufficiencies that are actually causing structural issues to your dog. Wouldn't you want to correct that? This is just it. The multivitamin that'll do it for you is Nuvet and also joint support with NuJoint Plus. I recommend both bottles. We're going to go ahead and leave a link in the descriptions below. Now let's get back to it. All right, we're back, man. And yes, let me see what else we got, man. We got Queen's New Blood saying, give all my dogs 2 to 3 years, maybe even 4 years to mature, since they're all like growing funky. Have a male that never had an ugly stage until 1 year old. Yeah. Javier Rivera, what up, QBN fam? I'm late, but I made it. I hope everyone had a great week. Thank you, Javier, for joining us, man. Number love. Miss Marina says, thank you, number love. Miss Marina Anthro says, raw purists believe kibble don't allow the acidity to build that breaks down the raw food and keeps worms and parasites at bay. I will tell you this. Look, when you feed raw, guys, you're feeding 70% water, okay? When you're feeding kibble, you're feeding no water because kibble is cooked at high temperatures because they need long shelf life. So they got to get rid of all the moisture right inside of the kibble. So whenever you feed kibble versus raw, the digestive process, in my opinion, is completely different. Whereas in raw, like I said, you have all this water there. And so what ends up happening is, rather than the dog pushing water out of its body in order to be able to digest, it actually absorbs much of this water, which they can urinate out easily. And also when they breathe, they're evaporating as well. However, when you feed kibble, right, and that kibble makes it into the digestive tract, what it's doing is it is pulling moisture from the dog's body, right? This is why when you're feeding raw, the dog poops so much less in comparison when you're feeding kibble, right? Because it's two different processes. One is completely dry. The other one's actually 70% water. And Sarata, I noticed that the price of the meat and pork came down here from a year ago. Wow. Listen to that. You got it. Where are you located at in Sarata? I know it's Arizona, but what city is closest to you? Hugo Rosado, you're the best, hermano. Thank you, Hugo. Appreciate you, brother. Number love, man. Hold on, Hugo. You can't say I'm the best without me giving you one of these. There you go. Blow the whistle, man. Blow the whistle. There you go. We got Billy Watton saying, I would try the Members Mark salmon and sweet potato if anyone on the Big Island carried it. The Big Island, man. That's the one drawback about living in Hawaii, man. I lived there for 6 years. When I got there, they told me everything is imported except the coconuts and pineapples. They weren't lying. They just weren't lying, man. Michael Hickman says, appreciate you addressing the questions, which can seem like criticism and not running from it, like Bully Max. I get info from my boy Ruben from Top Bullies. All right, man. Number love, and keep getting your answers. But no, man, I don't run away from what I stand on. That doesn't mean I'm right on everything, but I can, irregardless whether I'm right or wrong, there is knowledge behind and more than likely experience behind the decision I made. And that's what we share in this platform. Marina McDonald says, I cook all my dog food. I put liver, grass-fed hamburgers, sweet potato, carrots, and rice. Is the liver safe? For some people say it's not good for your dogs. Okay, so Marina, here's the thing. In this country, we are known for chicken, for example, to grow from the moment they're hatched to the moment they're killed for us to consume, I believe is within 2 months, something like that. I think it's 7 weeks. I could be wrong. If I'm off by a week or two, please don't shoot me. But the reason we're able to do that is because we're shooting up our chickens along with our cows and anything else that we consume with, growth hormones, steroids, antibiotics, whatever the case may be. Now, not so much the antibiotics, but the growth hormone, right? That we're shooting into these animals, it ends up in the liver, and you're giving this to your dog. So somebody might be thinking right now, well, that's great, because then that means my dog's going to get nice and big. That could be true. Just keep in mind, neither a chicken nor a cow is a carnivore. All right, first of all. Second of all, giving them this long term, at least for me, means that you may be able to trigger some sort of cancer in your dog because you're just bombarding him or her with with these chicken livers that are full of all this stuff that they're putting in there, which is one of the reasons why I always go to Nuvet NuJoint DS, right? I actually substituted the liver that I give in raw diet with Nuvet NuJoint. And that's because I know for a fact that there is none of that stuff in there. It's also cold pressed and it is at a human food grade level. That's just me. I understand, if you feel, if you want to stand on nature and things being natural, but in reality, is that liver you're feeding natural? I doubt it is. Chris DeCambre, chicken neck has good bone marrow. Absolutely it does. Absolutely it does. Anthro, agree. The mature dog Kirkland recipe works well with other raw supplements. Yes. And because we are mixing, raw, kibble, and cooked, I am now considering that mature, the Kirkland mature recipe. I think it was a pink bag or red bag. I'm considering that one just to try it out. And that's another thing about being a breeder, in my opinion. Never get to the point where you're lackadaisical. Never get to a point where, okay, we arrived, we're good. We don't need. No, you need to be dynamic. You need to constantly be trying new things. That's just the way I see it. Let me see. Enserata says, I was going to try signature kangaroo meat for food, but I saw it had pea in it. So no, yeah, pea is not the best. Javier Rivera, number beloved Javier, thank you so much. He has actually gifted 5 QBN Kennel memberships. You know what that means, Javier? We got to do this 5 times.
Pues claro que sí, cabrón.
That's 1.
Pues claro que sí, cabrón.
2.
Pues claro que sí,
3.
cabrón.
4.
Pues claro que sí, cabrón.
And
Pues claro que sí, cabrón.
we do this every Monday and Friday. We do it every Monday and Friday. Right now, we're doing it at 8 p. That may change. I'm just keeping it real with you guys. Once football season starts up again, I might have to change the times. But usually that's when we come on. Thank you so much, Javier, for gifting it. And for those of you that received this gift, make sure that you take full advantage of it, guys. Anthro says, raw-fed dogs drink less for sure. Yeah, absolutely, man. You know how much water they're getting? This is why a lot of people will see me serve one of my dogs raw, and they're like, dude, you're about... No, chill out, man. 70% of the stuff is water. No, I'm not serving a lot. I'm serving what they need to be getting. Queen's New Blood says, anyone else put water in their kibble when they feed their dog since it's absorbed all the moisture? Queen's New Blood, I don't. For some reason, my dogs will not touch it. If it gets bloated with water, they just won't touch it. I don't know why. I don't know if anybody else has the same thing happen to them. Inserata says, hit that like button, guys. Absolutely, Inserata. Let them know. Let them know. We're going to go ahead and switch the view. Boom. There you go. There you go. Phoenix, Arizona. That's right. I always get confused with Phoenix, Tucson, all them cities y'all got over there. Michael Hickman says, what do you say to those anti-raw people who say that these domesticated dogs have more harm than benefits because they're not in the wild anymore? Michael, I mean, you know, here's the thing, man. I would tell them, you know, I totally agree that these dogs are designer dogs. Ever since man started breeding dogs, they have become designer dogs. That's what I would say. I will also say they've only been a designer dog, at least that we know, for about 100,000 years, which means that they have over 140 million years of evolution. So what you're telling me, the person that's telling me this, what you're telling me is that the domestication of dogs, and I'm giving you leeway, I'm giving you 100,000 years leeway, because in reality, the American Bully's only been around for about 30 years, right? But what you're telling me is that the 100,000 years of us designing dogs trumps the 140 million years of evolution? Come on, man. No, I don't believe that for a second. So that's my response. That's how I see it. Shay says, I love to see people gifted memberships. So awesome. Absolutely. Me too. Hugo Rosado, blow the whistle, hermano. Blow the whistle. All right, bro. Let me bring it up, man. I don't have my guy.
Guys, real quick, let me.
Sorry, wrong button. There we go. My bad, man. I don't have my guy in the back tonight, man. I told him to take the night off. Marina McDonald. Oh, no. Yeah, I won't do that anymore. Thank you. You got it. Shade Tree says, Raul, I can't think of a time that you're wrong. Come on, Shade Tree. I am wrong. I'm more wrong than what you think. I just know you're a human and no one is perfect. And And you do say I could be wrong sometimes. Absolutely. There's no one here that's above fault, right? I'm just letting you know. Marina McDonald, I'm going to definitely order that today. You got it, Miss Marina. Nothing but love for you. Miss Marina, another thing, I want to see you become part of this platform. Go down to the description below for as little as $5 a month. You could actually become a member and you can support the channel. Not only that, we're going to be going live. We're going to be talking about your questions and possibly somebody else's questions that may answer a future question that you may have. Just throwing that out there. Pedigree growing. What is a natural way to get rid of worms? Well, one of the natural ways that I do, if you go to our video on the yeast detox video, we use papaya seeds, right? So the papaya fruit, when you open it, the seeds, they actually have trace amounts of cyanide, and they will, and that will help deworm the dog naturally. In addition to that, pumpkin seeds, right? I forget exactly what's inside of the pumpkin seed, but there's something there. There's a component or an element in there that will actually paralyze the parasite. So when the poop comes through the digestive tract, it literally just pushes everything out. So those are two things that will naturally help deworm a dog. And in addition, I will say, because I do feed my dogs garlic, and people love going to Google and they'll jump at the first result Google says. This is why I feel that AI is probably going to take over the world within the next 6 months, because humans don't want to think anymore. They want a machine to think for them, right? But bottom line is, on top of, the pumpkin seed, on top of the papaya seed, you turn around, you're also giving garlic. Man, let me tell you something. Worms just can't stand that inside of the intestine. And Sarata says, that's why I was going to try the kangaroo. For them, no steroids, but they had to buy that pea protein in there. Yeah. Pea protein, no bueno for dogs. Don't forget, dogs are carnivores. They are opportunistic herbivores, right? They will, eat what's inside of the stomach of whatever they catch. Every now and then, I don't know, they might chew on a carrot or something. Dogs in my yard obviously are going to be more than opportunistic herbivores because I'm feeding them these vegetables. But if they were out in the wild, vegetables is not going to be something that they're going to be looking for. AZ has an APBT show coming up on Memorial Day. That's a memorial show for Howard Heinzel. Okay, just let me remind everyone, on Monday on this channel, we're doing a bully stack off. I know I got rid of the stack off for a while back, but we're going to do a bully stack off where you're able to show your dog and you're going to compete against other dogs that are going to be shown as well. And the winner, hey, you're going to get mad props. The whole world's going to see you. We're going to make sure that people know your kennel name, where you're located, what your stud fee is, or if you got puppies coming. All right. So just throwing that out there, and that's going to be on Monday. What do you think about using Wild Hog? Chris Green, I've used Wild Hog in the past. I had a good friend of mine. She would go hunting or whatever, and she told me that there was always more hogs than they could even put in the freezer. And so what she would do for me is she would take the hog and they would process it, pretty much make it into ground meat, put it in these plastic packages. They're pretty big packages. And what I do is I put the package in the freezer, and I leave it in the freezer minimum 21 days. In fact, I'll be honest with you, probably it would take about 4 weeks before I would get to it. But the reason that you want to freeze it for more than 21 days is so that you can kill both the parasite, the larva, the eggs, kill everything, right? But it's got to be frozen for 21 days. Jeremy Malero, when do you recommend to stop giving a puppy goat milk? It all depends, man. That's where it gets a little complicated. Did mom give milk, or was he on goat milk because you had a supplement? Or were you just supplementing because you wanted to? Me personally, as soon as the pup goes to mesh, that's when we start feeding raw. they're off of whatever milk there is. There's no need for it. You know, the nutrients, the protein, the vitamin D3, the calcium, all that, they're going to be getting it from the diet that I'm going to be giving them. So I don't know about you guys, but I take my puppies off of mom usually on day 24. Sometimes I'll wait a day or go a day early, but usually day 24 is when they come off mom, and you know they're going to start eating mush. So Anthro, Queen's New Blood, adding water to kibble in the winter helps them absorb water better, but if you do it all the time, you will need to let them chew on something to clean their teeth, like knee bone. There you go. Good advice there. My dog won't eat raw chicken or fish. Is this normal? Well, XL Champ, here's the thing. If you've never fed them raw and out the blue you're feeding them raw, then they might have an exception to it. So really, I don't think it's normal. I think it's more of a what's acceptable to the dog, really. Billy Watt says, I feed hamburger that I grind down myself, harvested from Ahu wild cattle mixed with sweet potato, but also Nuvet NuJoint. It's life. You got it, Billy Watt. Love, man. Queen's New Blood, near me, a place called Here Today sells whole prey. I like to get from quail, rabbit, guinea pig. I think that's how it's spelled, chicken, fish, but also some good bone too, like llama, alpaca, goat. Be careful with the goat bones. I'm just letting you know. Unless you have like some sort of grinder that'll grind it down to a powder, be careful with those types of bones. I'm just throwing that out there, guys. Looney Tunes says, Que voila, Bully family late, but we'll watch from the beginning later. Que voila. You got it, man. Anthro, whole animal feeding is very primitive yet intriguing. It is. It is. You're always going to get people online that are going to be feeding these exotic animals or, you know, animals or whatever. What I say is this. 90% of the time, it's just to get views. Only because I have found that it's rather hard to consistently be feeding your dogs deer, unless you have a friend that is constantly going deer hunting or something like that, right? But the truth of the matter is, if you're just a regular Joe, you know, everything you really need is at the grocery store. It really is. For the majority. There's going to be some exceptions. Like I said, the liver. I don't feed beef liver or chicken liver to my dogs anymore. That's what the Nuvet is for. But majority of things, like, you know, if you're looking for protein, bone, that sort of thing, chicken quarters for me is like a godsend. All right. Let's see. My son's a member already. So your son brought you on. Excellent. Pedigree growing. Thanks. Appreciate it. You got it, man. Raul will. I will what? Queen's New Blood says, got that human grade diatomaceous earth, I think it's called, but planning to get some organic pumpkin seeds. That's another thing, I'm sorry, that it's completely natural that you could use for deworming diatomaceous earth. Make sure you get food grade, and make sure you don't put it near the dog's nose for him or her to be able to inhale, because it becomes caustic. It'll burn their lungs and their respiratory tract. But planning to get some organic pumpkin seeds to put into some foods. I'll need to find if papaya is around me. Good stuff. Oh, pumpkin and papaya seed kill heartworm. There you go. I recommend humans using both papaya and pumpkin seeds. If you own dogs, you probably need deworming also. Yeah, especially if you allow them to be licking you in the face. Jerry Malero, my mother-in-law's mini Yorkie ate a small piece of garlic bread, and she looked it up and was freaking out about the garlic. But because of your information, I was able to explain to her the study. Well, look, hey, tell you what, let's do something, man. Let's do something. You know me, I like starting stuff, right? So check it out. Let me Japanese garlic study. All right, let me go ahead and bring it up, right? Japanese garlic study on dogs. There you go. And let's see. Let's see. Huh. Okay. So I'm going to bring up what I got on my screen, and then we're going to talk about it, right? If anything, if I got to bring up a video or something, I will. But I just want to show you guys something, because this is the part that nobody gets. So look, I looked up Japanese garlic study on dogs. All right. And this is the study, actually. It's a 2000 Japanese study on dogs showed that garlic can cause oxidative damage to red blood cells. However, later studies, including a 2004 follow-up study, according to Volhard Dog Nutrition, and a 2018 study reported by Grandma Lucy, suggested that garlic is safe in moderate amounts and may even offer health benefits, right? Check it out. The 2000 study and its misinterpretation. I've been talking about this since I've been blue in the face, guys. The original 2000 study by K.W. Lee et al. Found that high doses of garlic, 5 grams per kilogram of body weight daily, could cause oxidative damage to red blood cells in dogs. So, this led to concerns about garlic toxicity in dogs, and many people avoided feeding garlic to their pets. However, the dosage used in 2000 study was exceptionally high, equivalent to feeding a 75-pound golden retriever about 60 cloves of garlic daily, which is far beyond what anyone would realistically feed a dog. So, mother-in-law, I need you to read that right there, because what has happened is all these supplement companies, all these companies trying to get you to deworm or whatever, what they end up doing is somehow they're enticing Google to say, oh, no, you don't. And they're referencing that study. The reason they're referencing that study is because if you found out that, you know, your dog is going to have health benefits from garlic, say, for example, to not get fleas or ticks, then you wouldn't go to the store and buy flea and tick medication, right? And that's what Big Pharma is all about. They keep trying to keep you buying their drugs. Don't go to nothing natural, because you're going to fix things so cheaply that you might just run them out of business. All right? So just keeping it real, guys. Hit that like button, says UB Utes. Michael Hickman, I got my boy at around a month old. My girl will be fully developed, 18 months old in July. Will I have to show him how to do the do, or will it come naturally? Michael Hickman, I mean, some dogs, let me not say some. I don't think I've ever had to teach a dog how to do it. It would be, man, that'd be a fun video to make. Let's just say it's natural, bro. It's instinctive. Once they get the scent, once they know what's up, they'll know what's up, man. Because he didn't learn what he naturally would have. He turned 2 last November. Okay, well, and you got a special kind of dog, man. You got, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like special needs. Because I have never, man, tell you what, Congo, my other boy, Patron, God bless. Patron is a humper dog. This dude was humping since he was like 5 months old. He was humping on, if it wasn't your leg, it was on a pole, on a tree, cut down tree bark, females, and it didn't matter. So I don't know, man. Queen's New Blood says, I do. It's mainly the rib bones I get. I wash them all individually so I can know they are it all. They ate it all, I guess. And if anything happens, yes. Rib bones are supposed to be safe for dogs, particularly beef rib bones. Violent Chino, I have a question. I just ordered the Nuvet Plus NuJoint DX to fix East West for a 4-month-old puppy. Now, which pills do I give first, or is there a method on what to give first? No. Violent Chino, I'm going to tell you right now, buddy. Just when you flip it over, read the instructions. It's going to tell you what to do. It's going to tell you that if your dog let me change camera angles here. What it's going to tell you is if your dog is 5 pounds or more, right? If your dog is 5 pounds or more, you're going to be feeding 1 wafer per day. And if it's less than 5 pounds, you're going to be feeding half a wafer per day, right? And then the NuJoint DS, like I mentioned before, it is completely weight-based, okay? It is completely weight-based, guys. So depending on your dog's weight, depends how many wafers you're going to be giving, okay? It's that simple. Now, me personally, I like to give it to my dogs once I put them back in the cage as a treat. You can give it to them in the morning or in the evening. It's up to you when you want to feed it. Queen's New Blood says, but those I really get mainly feed the whole prey, fur, and all. I like to hide them so they can find them in the yard, says Queen. That's good, Queen. Only issue you're going to have is if they ever find a wounded animal in your yard, they're pretty much going to think, hey, you know, this is how they hide it. They hide back here. I mean, if you're okay with that, that's great, man. Shade Tree says, well, papaya seeds and pumpkin seeds kill heartworm in a dog or prevent it from happening. She's asking. No, I'm not saying that heartworm. What I'm referring to is, you know, like things like roundworms, pinworms, typical parasites that dogs pick up along the way. Now, there are other things that, for example, papaya seeds and pumpkin seeds are not going to help you with, and that's with amoebas like coccidia, giardia. You're going to have to go a totally different route with that. You're going to have to go, you know, with sulfamethoxyzole and tripropyrin along with metronidazole, right? And that's how you clear the gut that way. But those are amoebas. That's not like a regular parasite. John Hollenbeck, why would you stop giving your dog goat milk if it's probiotic and a gut cleanser? Well, the only reason I would is because I don't want to give my puppy more protein than it needs. I have found through experience, right, that when you overfeed protein, the soft tissue, which is cartilage, tendons, ligaments, they seem to loosen up. They seem to become too elastic, right? Whereas I have noticed when you reduce the protein amount to say 13%, right? And you're feeding, say, Nuvet NuJoint DS, I have noticed an improvement that way. Now, if you're able to feed the goat protein and keep the protein content at 13%, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm all for casein protein. I've talked about, you know, whenever you have a dog that's old enough and they're starting to pull and whatnot, to go ahead and put them on cottage cheese before they go to bed at night so they don't enter the catabolic state. So it's nothing against goat milk per se. It's just that I want to make sure we're not over proteinating our puppies, period. Worst thing you can do for our breed is to give them too much protein. Too much protein and fat stimulates the IGF-1, which is the growth hormone. Their bones are already growing too fast for their soft tissue. If in addition you're feeding higher amounts of protein and fat, that bone growth is going to be overstimulated. At the end of the bone, the torque is going to go higher and the soft tissue is not getting any stronger. That usually leads to more issues. So that's what I found. Shatri says, well, papaya and pumpkin seeds kill heartworm and a dog prevent from it. I don't think papaya and pumpkin seeds will kill heartworm. In fact, I don't think that garlic will kill heartworm either. However, heartworm is transmitted through a mosquito. Therefore, the good thing about garlic, for example, is that once it's accumulated on the dog's body, flies and mosquitoes usually stay away from the dog. Definitely fleas and ticks. They want nothing to do with it. So take that for what it's worth. My daughter's watching with me and you're talking about garlic. Love it. Oh, you got it. You got it, Miss Shatri. Anthro, not only feeding garlic and onions help detox. All right, stop right there. I have never said to feed onions to dogs. All right, Anthro, I'm reading your comment, but I'm just letting people know, me over here, I'm against feeding onions to dogs, okay? Onions help detox, but growing them next to outdoor kennels with other plants like mint and marigolds repel tons of bugs, rodents, and snakes. All right, good point you put there, but I would never feed a dog onion. The whole Allen and Allison thing, even when I feed garlic, I chop it up, I crush it, I let it sit for 15 minutes, and then I feed it to my dogs. Let the air interact with the Allen, make it Allison, where the dog's able to actually consume it and utilize it without it being harmful. But as far as onions, I can tell you everything I've read up to now, onions is a no-go for dogs, man. So that's just where I stand on. Yeah, Fredia says no onions. You got it. Michael Hickman says simple mathematics. That's big pharma. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Send Patron to show him how it's done. Yeah, Jay Malero, bring your dog over here and bring your female, and we'll just let Patron show off there. Anthro says big pharma's behind hiding plants benefits because plants can be patented. I guess can't be patented. Michael Hickman, he has been sniffing on the girl. I think her second cycle is coming, but he hasn't tried to tap that yet. All right. Well, like I said, if he doesn't know how to do it, you can always bring him here. And Patron, where's Patron at? Let me show you what Patron's looking like nowadays, man. Patron will make it happen, bro. Patron is like, hey, buddy, bring her on over here, man. We'll make it happen, right? He ain't playing. He ready to go. So just throwing that out there, man. Let's see. Violent Chino. I love the name, man. Violent Chino. Thank you. Your answer helped me a lot. You got it, Violent. Number love, man. Queen's New Blood. Yay. The only thing I have to worry about, but have two that's already doing it before. I started with groundhogs when they get into the yard and left some half eaten on the porch. Oh, wow. The other day, my girl Cadabra was digging and I yelled at her. And then once I put them up or whatever, I headed out in the backyard and realized that a gopher or something was digging the ground, because you could see and feel the tunneling when you step on it. I should have let her just go for it. Mr. St. James, you need to write a book at QBN Kennels. What for? That's what we got the lives for, so we could interact, so I could answer your question on the spot. You notice I'm not reading a book? Oh, wait, I got to find your answer. Right now, I don't need that. Not saying I'm above that. I'm still reading books today, guys. But there's enough information here and enough experience here where I could just shoot from the hip for the majority of the things. There's always going to be things I don't have answers for. And there's always going to be things I made mistakes in the past. But that's what experience brings. Reading a book is just, if I read a book to you that you can read yourself, then what are we really doing? Alfredo Mata, when is a good time to crop ears on puppy? Ask your cropper. Each cropper has their own rules as to when is a good time to crop ears, guys. Queen's New Blood, I'm over here having issues with my keyboard. Apologies. No worries. Ivermectin works on heartworm, I believe. I don't believe so, Miss Inserata. Ivermectin, if I understand it correctly, will stop, right? Will kill will stop the eggs from hatching, or will kill them before they hatch, right? But if you already have a heartworm infestation, it won't do anything to it. Anthro says, I don't feed onions on a regular basis. They usually get it. It's never seemed to harm them. Yeah, I've read that it's really not good. Definitely cooked onions is better than raw onions, but I've read it's not good. It will do exactly what that study said, that they were feeding 60 cloves of garlic to a dog, right? But the type of anemia the dog was getting, because the red blood cells were basically being exploded because of the amount of garlic is what usually happens with the onions. Michael Hickman says, my boy Blue Stripe would try and kill anything messing with her. Okay. Now, we don't want that, man. Patron Stud. There you go, Shade Tree. I missed the part when I ate onions. My dog is due also. All right, Malachi, how are you guys doing? We're doing good, man. We're enjoying ourselves. We like this. Look at this nice little setup, man. Nice little room. Thanks for the interaction, Raul. You got it, Mike. Number love, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, man, we got the cameras rolling today. We got different cameras. Talk to me, man. Do y'all prefer this shot right here? Let's call this the long shot, right? The long shot. Y'all prefer the long shot? Also, I'm looking to decorate this. So I started out with Fireball. This is my boy right here. And then we got little sunshine over here. But I don't have much room to kind of fit in more dogs or whatnot. But y'all let me know. What do you think I should be putting up here? Give me some advice. Shay says my dogs are on heart guard, which is ivermectin. Correct, Shay. Ivermectin is going to prevent the heartworm, right? In other words, when a mosquito bites the dog and shoots the eggs in there, the heartworm eggs, the ivermectin is going to stop the eggs from either hatching or it kills them. I don't remember right now off the top of my head the mechanism of action. However, if there are already fully mature heartworms alive inside of the dog, there's nothing ivermectin is going to do. Only thing it could do is prevent, future eggs from hatching. That's about it. Queen's New Blood says, honestly, prefer this over any book that could be written. That's what I'm talking about. We do this. We make videos. We go live. We interact with you. We give you what we know. And when we don't know something, we admit we don't know it, and we'll go online and research it with you and try to get you an answer. It's as simple as that. John Doe. Love the content, Raul. Hate that I'm always at work when you go live. Just lucky to be on break. Definitely will watch the rest later. Thank you, John Doe. Nothing but love, man. Appreciate you. Alfredo Mata, what do you think about... Oh, goodness. Alfredo, go to the beginning of the video. I got a cease and desist letter from Bully Max because I made a video talking about the ingredients they put in their bag. Literally, I was reading the ingredients that were in their bag. So I don't want to say what I think about Bully Max. Let's just say I've never fed my dogs Bully Max. I probably never will. Fredia says, I like the background you have now. It's cool. Just change it up from time to time. All right, you got it, Miss Fredia. We can do that. Man, Edidick. If you don't know this now, I'm here to say it. Come on, man. No, but love, Edidick. No, hold on, Edidick. I'm going to have to blow the whistle, bro. I'm going to have to blow the whistle on that one because, man, nothing but love. That's it. That's it. We blowing the whistle. Hey, listen, I was actually gonna spin the wheel tonight, but nobody's talking about the wheel, so we won't even bring it up, man. Malachi says, my boy got into a jar of fried garlic, and thankfully nothing happened. But no panic. He's a big dog, and thankfully it was fried, not enough garlic to hurt him, I suppose. Well, what happens is, and that's why I said earlier, that cooked onion is going to be less potent than, say, raw onions, right? Once you start cooking it, you start denaturing things in there, and then what was actually in there that could kill the dog is so denatured at that point that it really may not be able to do something to him. Steadfast Performance says, yes, it will. Ivermectin will kill adult worms. Problem with that is the dead worms can cause blockages. That's why it's dangerous, and you should speak to a vet. Steadfast, I appreciate you challenging me. Let's go ahead and bring it up, man. Let's go ahead and bring it up. You may very well be right, and if you are, I will definitely tip my hat off to you. Will ivermectin kill adult heartworms and dogs? All right, I hope I spelled it right. Ivermectin does not directly kill adult heartworms in dogs. While it can shorten the lifespan of adult heartworms and prevent new infections, which is what I told you, Shay, by killing immature larvae, it's not an effective standalone treatment for established heartworm disease. The primary treatment for an adult heartworm involves melarsoline injections. So, is this big pharma talking, or Steadfast? You could give me experience where you cleared your dog from heartworm with ivermectin. Talk to me, man. Shaytree says, shout out to my daughter watching QBNK with me. Mini me. Nothing but love for you and your mama and your daddy too. Nothing but love. Tell them I send them the best regards. Steadfast says that is why vets insist on heartworm tests before giving a prescription. What you say can make sense, but you know what? That melarsoline that you actually would give to kill adult heartworms would possibly do the same thing. I did have a dog once that had heartworms, and they told me that once they gave her the shots, she couldn't be running around or anything like that because, like you mentioned, you could dislodge a heartworm and it could cause a pulmonary embolism, right? if it gets dislodged. So yeah, I can see that. However, based on what I've read, right, ivermectin can prevent the larva, right? And I mentioned that, or the eggs from hatching, or what, how you might want to call that. But the adult itself, from what I understand, it can't. Malachi says, same idea as kibble being nutritional, bully max included, denatured, and most of the time overpriced. Malachi, can you say louder for the people in the back? That's all I'm going to say. Anthro, just like the garlic info, don't trust the first thing Google throws at you. No, I'm not. That's why I'm telling Steadfast to please give me more information. I have also had one die from it. When they died off, it caused a heart attack. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. All right, man. Tell you what. You know what? Anthro, you're absolutely right. I stand on not going on the first thing that Google tells you. So let's see. Ivermectin study shows effective versus adult heartworms in dogs. All right, man. Let's see what's up. Yes, several studies demonstrate the effectiveness of ivermectin against adult heartworms in dogs, especially when used prophylactically. This is key. Or in conjunction with other treatments. Ivermectin can reduce the number of heartworms and may also help reduce the risk of lung damage associated with the death of an adult heartworm. So let's go to the prophylactic use. Studies show that ivermectin, when administered monthly as a preventative, by the way, prophylactic means preventative, can significantly reduce the number of heartworms or even prevent infection altogether when started soon after exposure. One study found that ivermectin was highly effective, greater than 95% of the time, against induced heartworm infection when administered monthly for a year, starting 4 months after infection. Ivermectin has been used in combination with doxycycline and melarsoline to treat heartworm disease. One study showed that dogs pre-treated with ivermectin and doxycycline before receiving melarsoline had less pulmonary pathology associated with the death. Okay, but let's see here. Efficacy. Studies have shown that ivermectin can achieve high levels of efficacy against adult heartworms, with some reaching 93.6% or even 100% when administered at the correct dosage. So it's not, even when it is effective, it's not 100% effective. Okay. Look at this. Ivermectin is not the only effective heartworm preventative. Other macrocyclic lactones like moxidectin, as well as products like HeartGuard Plus and Trifexis, are also available. Oh, we're well aware of those. I'm sure at some point your vet's tried pushing that on you. We got Steadfast saying, love the show. You might very well be right. God bless. Keep up the pods. Hey, number love, Steadfast. Hey, do us a favor, man. Join us. Go down in the description. For as little as $5 a month, you can be supporting the channel. And as you can see, this is a back and forth conversation. Not everybody knows everything. I sure as hell don't. But what I do know, I do like to compart. And I like to have a conversation. And I don't get intimidated, nor do I get insulted if you challenge me. If you challenge me, the worst that could happen is we're going to go into Google and we're going to try to find an answer. All right. Ivermectin will kill mange at higher dosage. Okay. Here's the danger with saying something like this, Anthro. And let me just be clear. Ivermectin is a drug, or well, it is a drug that is used to kill parasites and whatnot. But you got to be careful with something like this, because when you say at higher dosage, you know, there's always that one person that doesn't follow what is being written in the label, and they might end up killing a dog. You got to be very careful with ivermectin. Let me give you a quick story that happened to me. All right, Mr. Know-It-All, right? Because I'm sure there's some people out here saying, oh, this dude thinks he knows it all. No, I don't know it all. But I've banged my head enough times against the wall to know a couple of things. So I had a litter of pups, and I decided, you know what? We're going to deworm them. Ivermectin it is. And I gave them ivermectin. It ended up happening that one of the puppies, I'm talking about, they must have been about 4 weeks old, around there. One of the puppies threw up the ivermectin I had given it, and the other licked it up, ate it. Following day, I have a puppy on the ground, can't stand up, constantly whining. When I looked into the eyes, the pupils were completely dilated. At that point, I already knew. I had thought that initially I had given too much ivermectin. Okay, when you have dilated pupils, that's usually a sign there's too much of something that's affecting the neurological system, or the CNS, central nervous system, in the pup. Luckily, you know, at that point it was useless, but I did it anyways. I gave activated charcoal. We went through that entire process. Literally, there was nothing we could do. The following day, he got a little bit better. The day after that, he was better until he got to the point where he was fine. But I'm just saying you have to be very careful with ivermectin and giving it in high doses. Steadfast says, I use 4 times the normal preventative dose. My veterinarian recommended it. Okay. Chemo, QBN Lounge. What's up, Chemo? Number love, man. Hey, I like it, man. QBN Lounge. Maybe we gotta have like a little bar area over here somewhere, or even a little coffee shop, huh? Maybe something like that. Give it 4 weeks. All right, Looney. I second that motion. I forgot what etiquette. Oh, what he said about the goat thing. Number love, Looney Tunes. Number love, man. Thank you. Shaytree says, love these topics. Thank you, Raul. It pays to be a member. And you're always so faithful and go above and beyond. Great live. Nothing but love, Miss Shaytree. People like you that make this live happen, right? And not just you, other people together. We are a community, and it's a knowledge-based community. That's why I tell people all the time, you want to be part of a community, especially a community that is sharing knowledge. What I might not know, Anthro may know, or somebody else throws something out there that can enlighten us all, and we could just be better breeders or better pet home owners because of it. Alex NS, you've been putting me on game these last few weeks. The improvement I've seen in both my bulls in just 3 weeks is crazy. Nuvet coming soon. You got it, fam. You got it. Now, this platform is for the real, both from the host being real to the followers being real, man. And when you try the stuff that we talk about, I'm not going to say it's always going to work, because like everything in life, there's always an exception. But just know that what's coming out of my mouth or what's showing up in my videos is stuff that we've tried and we've experienced here ourselves. That's the difference. Anybody can read a book, man. Anybody can read a book. You don't see me reading a book to answer your questions. If I don't know it, I don't know it. If I know it, we're going to share and we're going to talk about it. All right. Bandit Reptiles, one of my top places for research. Thank you for all the information. Number love, man. Appreciate you. Anthro, share, like, sub. Come on, man. Give us some love. Help us grow. Help us grow. 2025 is going to be the year where we're going to grow. Help us grow. Alex says, Nutrisource, chicken, small breed and puppy, and Stella and chewy raw coated beef recipe made sure my grain-free had taurine. What's your opinion on those? Nutrisource. Okay, I see. Honestly, anything that's going to be grain-free, you got to make sure it has taurine. They had done a study, and what ended up happening is dogs were getting DCM. For those that don't know what DCM is dilated cardiomyopathy, right? Myopathy meaning muscle disease. And what it is the heart itself, right? Let's say the heart walls or the ventricles, right? Let's say the heart walls were about yay thick. Excuse me. What ended up happening was the heart itself, because it couldn't pump effectively. The ventricles actually started dilating. And when they started dilating, the thickness of the walls went from here to here. So even though the heart became bigger, it pumped a lot less. It was less effective in pumping, right? What they found out was when you started giving taurine, you would counter this. Okay. Today, I made a video talking about the best dog food in Costco. There was one dog food there in particular that spoke about having lentils. Now, one of the reasons I don't like pea in my dog's recipe and also lentils is because I read in a study once upon a time that these two things were, how do I put it? Were directly linked, right? Along with others to DCM, dilated cardiomyopathy. But if you're going to be giving that, you got to make sure if it's going to be grain-free, you got to make sure it's got taurine. All right? Just keeping it real with you, man. Hi, Raul. How about a Nuvet display? A Nuvet display? You mean like this one? There you go. Number love, man. Thank you. Thank you for bringing it up. And we're just going to go ahead and leave it up there then. Raul, are you familiar with Simpatico? No, I'm not. Jared Malero, I've never seen or asked, but what does QBN stand for? What does QBN stand for? All right. Quick story. So I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. My dad, may he rest in peace, he was Venezuelan. I was born there. But my mom is Cuban, right? And my lovely wife is Cuban as well. And we were going to start a kennel, and we are going to call it QBN Kennel. But I hit the brakes on that because I was like, look, we're in America. We're now, I mean, our roots, obviously my roots are in Venezuela and in Cuba, and hers in Cuba as well. But, you know, we're in America. I don't want to be Venezuelan kennels, QBN Kennels. So we came up with QBN, but it really means Quality Bully Nation, right? Because we're looking to build a community, a nation, right? So from here on out, I may just start calling us a nation. So when you hear me say, instead of saying fam, I'm going to say nation. I'm talking about the QBN Nation, the Quality Bully Kennel Nation that's here watching and interacting tonight. Thank you for the question. 8 says, Raul, are you familiar? No, I answered that already. Suave KZ finally caught live, man. I need your advice more than ever. All right. Need info on a first-time pregnant dog, brother. I'm excited and nervous, Raul. He's cracking up. I'm looking for a diet for my pregnant American Staffordshire Terrier, I would think. I'm going to tell you right now, my friend, I normally like to put my females, take them off of raw. I know all you raw lovers, you want to hit me over the head. I did feed one of my females raw throughout her pregnancy and once she had pups, and everything went fine. But me personally, I still only feed my pregnant females kibble along with Nuvet and NuJoint DS. That's what I feed, my friend. Why is that? I don't want to put an extra load of either parasites, amoeba, anything in a pregnant female. That's just me. I tried doing it raw and it worked out well for me. So I can't say it didn't work out. But me being in the medical field and knowing what I know, I just feel is a necessary precaution for my yard. All right. So take that with a grain of salt. Inserata says, an OFA cardio vet told me that pea protein causes DCM. He was just spreading knowledge. Yes, Inserata, it's not just pea protein. It's also lentils. This is why I'm very, that's why when I made the video today, and you got to realize, you guys don't realize this because I don't ever like really speak on it. But I don't only have a cease and desist letter from Bully Max. I got like a dozen, somewhere around there, cease and desist letters. These companies, they become very aggressive because they realize you are opening people's eyes. That's what they realize. And so, yeah, in today's video, I said, oh, it's got pea protein. I don't like pea protein. But I didn't sit there and say it causes DCM. The reason you don't want to say something like that, even though there could be a study that says that, we all know, right? These big brand companies that make kibble, they got their own lawyers, and then they also will pay for their own research-based investigation, and then they will counter what the original study says with no, pea protein doesn't do it. And then you came out here and you said it. Next thing you know, you're in court, and you're getting sued, right? So in order to prevent all that, I just said I don't like pea protein in my dog's recipe. But you're absolutely right. I've came across information where both pea protein and lentils contribute to it. Queen's New Blood says, quality Bully Nation Kennel, QBNK, baby. That's right, QBNK. And the dog on the logo right here is none other than this guy right here, Mr. QBNK himself, man. And that's none other than my boy Fireball, man. And let me just tell you, this week, Fireball turned 8 years old. And let me tell you, he looking sexier than ever. I am like, let me tell you, man, I didn't produce Fireball. I did not produce him. He was produced by a 205 BK kennel. I don't normally give that information out. And the reason I don't is because in this bully world, things have a tendency to change on you, right? So I had a great relationship with the people I bought Fireball from until one day wifey decided to tear me a new one on social media for whatever reason, because I was posting Fireball and he was probably getting more likes than her own dog or whatever. Long story short, ever since then, I had to do what I had to do. But the fact of the matter is I didn't produce them. I've never claimed I have. But I can tell you, this boy right here, that's my son. I love that boy. Like, man, I can't even begin to tell you how much I love that boy. All right. All ears, says Swaz. Okay, I already gave you your answer. Sylvia Figueroa, Raul, the display in the room. Hijo, not the TV. Huh? Raul, the display in the room. Hijo, not the TV. I'm sorry, Sylvia. Can you be more specific? I really want to make out what you're telling me. Please. Queen says, check his video. He got good ones on his page. Absolutely. You got it. You got it, Suave. Number love, man. Alex, Stella and Chewy is 0.2% terrain. Others have seen are 0.12. Alex, as to the taurine formula and the dosages and the amounts, I'm not going to jump in there. Unfortunately, I am not a pet nutritionist. I can't get in there and give you the inside scoop. I can tell you, and I did a video today, like I said, where I was testing Costco foods and whatnot, going over them. Each particular formula has its own calorie density. And the caloric density, I'm pretty sure, has a lot to do with the dosage that you're going to be able to be using. So just keep that in mind. Suave says, I'll keep you updated, man. I'm tuning in with you, brother. Hey, Suave, do me a favor. Give us a share, give us a like, give us a comment, man. Jared Malero says, if my dog is always licking his bowl like he's hungry, should I add more rice, potatoes to their food to fill them up a bit more? Jared Malero, sounds to me like your dog is trying to train you. He's trying to train you that whenever he licks that bowl, you're going to feed him more. I would just make sure I'm feeding him adequate amount of food. And if he wants to lick the bowl, he can lick the bowl. I don't allow a dog to dictate to me. Now, with that being said, you need to be on top of your dog, and you need to know if your dog is being underfed. The way I do that is I look at the rib cage. If I see individual ribs, that dog is underfed. If I see a rack of rib cage but no individual ribs, right about right. If I can't see a rib cage, then he's a little plumpy like me, a little too plumpy. He needs to come down and weigh. All right. Shade Tree says, not only is it lentils, but it's beans, garbanzo beans, all of them. Bad protein cooked at high temperature equals carcinogen. Okay. Yeah, I did hear about garbanzos too contributing. Guys, think about it, man. Dogs are carnivores. They are opportunistic herbivores, which means, what does that mean? That means only like 2 or 3% of their diet is going to be vegetables and fruits. That's about it. At best, right? So what are we doing here feeding my dog garbanzos? Oh, we got some lentils for you. Yeah. Or if you're Cuban, I got some black beans for you, boy. You're going to love this. No, man. He's a carnivore. Give him some meat. Sarata, has anyone heard of Breeder's Edge, Oxymama? Yes. Oxymate? Yes. Causing dogs to lose pups or not get pregnant. A vet said they heard of it crazy since it's for pregnant dogs, but just wondering if anyone has heard. Okay, so I can talk on Oxymama, not necessarily Oxymate. On Oxymama, I can tell you I don't ever give Oxymama to my females until after they've given birth to the pups. And the only reason, the only reason I give that to them is so that they can produce tons and tons of milk. In particular, if it's a first-time female that I'm breeding, right? If she's more on the younger side, say she's 19 months old, I would definitely go with Oxymama once she gives birth, because I've had situations in the past where I've had first-time females give birth and then not have enough milk for the entire litter, right? So that's the reason for it. Happy birthday, Fireball. Thank you, Billy. Number love, man. Malachi says, shout out to Nuvet. They could easily slap some buff bully illustrations on the bottle and make a killing. That's not what it's about. Real ingredients, cold press, great stuff to deal with. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know what I find? I find that the realest of reals typically don't need anything fancy, bro. Like, look at our QBN logo. Like, it's just basic, simple, right? At the end of the day, we're either going to produce good dogs that you're going to want to run and get from us, or we're going to produce crappy dogs that you're just not going to want to buy. The logo is not going to make the brand. The brand is the one that's going to make the logo. Just keeping it real with you, man. All right, where are we at? This has been a good live, man. Good interaction. Sylvia Figueroa, hi, Raul. How about a Nuvet display? Oh, we've been past that. All right. We got Mike Honcho, been watching for a minute now and adapt to the raw diet. You showing the videos to my new adopted American staffies. All right, Mike. Number love, man. Let us know how it's going. Yes. Nuvet has taurine in it. Yes. J-Tree. It's about man cooked at high temperatures is the problem. Unfortunately, Excuse me. But that's the only thing they can use for filler to make kibble to be a kibble. You got to realize there's companies that are making this, and they're there to make money. XL Champ Cooper says, "Rest in peace, Hulk." Yeah, I saw that this past week, man. May he rest in peace, and hopefully we could give him a rest. I've seen nothing but post after 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 post, and I'm like, all right, dude, you had the dog for 12 years. Like, let the boy rest at this point. I get it, man. May he rest in peace. He definitely, even though he's not an American Bully and he's not a Pitbull, he definitely put both breeds out there. Okay, I get that. But at the same time, Jesus, bro, let the dog rest. Like, you've had 12 years where you've taken every single shot you wanted, every angle, every video. Let the dog rest, man. I really, my heart out goes to him and his family because I know what it's like to lose a dog, right? But I've never seen anybody post 100 different posts after the dog dies talking about the dog died. Like, this is Hulk, man. You say it one time and the entirety of the world knows about it. I'm just saying, man, let the dog rest. Happy birthday, Free Stack Freak, says Shea Tree. Number love, Shea Tree. Appreciate you. Yes. All right. Huncho, they love it. They showed up as strays, and I took them in, put on some weight, and their coats are shining. They get compliments when I walk them around the neighborhood. There you go, man. There you go. Nuvet, man. Nuvet, let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. Very few times have I heard that Nuvet didn't work out. There's always a chance it doesn't work out, like anything else in life. There may be an ingredient in there that your dog is allergic to, and there's just nothing that anybody can do at that point. But honestly, hold on a second, man. Having a little camera issue here. No worries. There you go. My bad. Had a little bit of a camera issue. But for the most part, and I'm talking about way over 98% of the time, Nuvet not only solves the problem, man. Javier Noriega says, let him rest. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, let the dog rest, man. God bless his soul. Here he's been dead for like 5 days or 4 days, and I see posts, from today, still going at it. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It's just me. At least for me, it was very personal. When my girl Azu passed away, everybody deals with grief differently. If that's how they deal with grief, I hope I'm not offending them. All I'm saying is let the dog rest, man. Tips on deep cleaning my dog's paws. It's funny you're saying that because I'm actually thinking of ways of doing that. So let me just give you the ideas I have because I haven't done it yet. But what I'm thinking about doing is going to Walmart and buying a big old plastic, just transparent container. In that plastic transparent container, I want to add hydrogen peroxide, white vinegar. I'm not sure yet what else I want to add in there. And what I want to do is I want my dogs, when they're coming back into my house, to step in there. How am I going to get them used to doing that? I don't know yet. Right now, I'm just in a rough draft. I'm in the rough draft step of things, right? But the idea would be for them to step in there and then step on a rug that would dry their feet and then them come inside of the house. That would just be amazing. I'm sure sooner or later a product like that will appear somewhere sometime, man. I'm just thinking. MJA says, thanks for your recommendation on keeping pups light until it's the right time to support proper growth. You got it, man. How do you freshen dog breath? Man, you could use carrots. You could use chicken bones too. It will scrape the teeth. Oregano, parsley. I made videos on this. If you find, I have a video. Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up, guys. Let's see here. Yeah, we're about to blow y'all's mind because we've hit on this. Some of y'all, here it is, Green Monster food topper right here, Green Monster, unveiling the universal Green Monster food topper. This right here is going to get rid of your dog's bad breath. So all you got to do, right, food topper, right? All you got to do is go to our homepage, take the magnifying glass, and type in food topper. Boom. There it is. Look. You got various toppers, but this one in particular is the one that's going to get rid of the bad breath, right? And then you're also going to get homemade dog remedies you never heard before, just homemade stuff that you can, and also in there, I believe I'm talking about how to clear your dog's bad breath. But listen, guys, we've been on now for an hour and 15 minutes, real quick. Billy Wanton, like anything else, it takes time, trust, process. There's a marathon, not a sprint. That's right. Make a small dog run, maybe 5-10 feet to walk through the mixture for their feet. Yeah, man, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to come up with an idea. Thanks for the membership, says Cody Boone. Oh, don't thank me. I wasn't the one that gave it to you. All right. You got to make sure you go back and you thank my guy, Javier Rivera. He's the one that gifted the membership. Thank you, Javier. Nothing but love for you, brother. And Queen's New Blood just got 2 new females from my program. High hopes for one be show quality so I can hit the ring. The other, I'm leaning towards breeding quality. Both should be standard or classic. Just waiting on my Excel. Queen's New Blood, I'm wishing nothing but the very best for you. We got Chemo. Love the chat. Till the next one. Aloha. Yeah, guys, listen. Nothing but love, man. We're on here tonight. You already know we're going to try the bully stack off on Monday. If we don't have enough participants, we'll just switch it on to a show. But either way, guys, I appreciate you for tuning in. It's been Raul from the Q. Like always, pues claro que sí, cabrón. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. Pues claro que sí, cabrón. Let me change my camera angle and let me shoot it over here. There we go. Hey, guys, it's been Raul from the Q, and I'll be catching you on the next.
Here we go, kill the whistle. Oh yeah. We are going for a whole hour. Straight dog talk and the song. Jump on in and speculate. Show up on time, don't be weak and late. We are community, so don't hate. And learn to cooperate. Yeah, hit that like button and do your thing. 5 membership will get you in. So let's talk dogs and don't waste no time. Monday 7 p.m. CST. Don't come doing the HAT.